missing block glitch is the first of many videos uploaded to a channel called Nights. The channel is sparse, no profile picture, a blank banner, and only these 8 videos.
I love how we never really get like a how he finds these, cause it's like, how the fuck would you find these? Like, this is impossible to find. Like, normally this would be impossible to find. Like, unless you go in like hashtag Minecraft, but even then, that's like, you gotta, I mean, maybe you can find it in like the just doom scrolling. I feel like maybe if you click on the category, because usually YouTube auto detects the game, so I mean.
But these videos aren't normal. They're videos of a player haunted by a world that is deleting itself. A world that holds secrets into one of the strangest stories the internet has ever seen. First video, where it seems like whoever we're watching is giving us a lay of the land, showing us around their Minecraft world. We catch a glimpse of their house and a small castle off to the side, and then something a bit odd. If you blink, you might miss it, but take a look at this scenery. In the distance, there is a single tree with only 1 leaf. We have no reason to believe this isn't just man-made, but it feels weird, especially considering all the normal trees around it. But this is hardly the strangest part of the video. As our protagonist keeps walking, he runs into this, a gaping chunk of void. This hole extends all the way to bedrock, and even stranger, all around it, our main character runs into some half cut down trees. Again, these could have been man-made, but why? Why not mine the full tree, and why leave it
the
like
trees,
this?
yeah, I was like the hole can't be man-made, you have to break bedrock.
But goes down into the chunk, and I guess after being spooked, heads back to the surface only to find that a giant hole
yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like that could be like a world generation issue, especially in this kind of game, or in this kind of update of the game. Like, yeah,
now
but I mean,
appeared in front of their house. They freak out.
Okay, now appearing?
This hole wasn't there before, and what caused it is completely unknown, but clearly our character was spooked, leaving the world almost immediately. They didn't do this to their world, so who or what did? There are a few more things about this video though that I didn't point out at first. For one, on the walk back to the house, our main character encounters a tree with a missing block, but judging by how he reacts, filling the gap, we can assume that he wouldn't leave a tree like this, and this also wasn't him.
Did he just like put it back?
Weird oddity of blocks seemingly disappearing in this world. Another thing that's strange is the lack of bedrock. Both of the holes we've seen so far have had no bedrock at the bottom.
That's why he couldn't have made these.
This world lacks a foundation. But finally, we can get some concrete info about what's going on by looking at the description. Weird missing blocks in mine and Danny's world.
Who's Danny?
Not sure if this is something that just happens, but I thought I'd put it here and see if anyone knows. Mason Knight 77. Now we have a name for whoever runs this channel, Mason, and we get confirmation that he doesn't know what's going on here either. We're also introduced to someone named Danny. Apparently he shared this world with Mason, but we're still totally in the dark about what's going on and why holes into the void are appearing all over this world. For that, we have to watch video number 2. The video It Gets Worse leaves little to the imagination about what's to come. Mason leaves his house again, and we can see that 2 new holes have formed.
Mason, I'm not gonna lie, don't go into architecture. Just letting you know right now.
In his world, one in the far corner.
Oh, what the fuck, is a lot more
part of the castle. Mason looks around and peers down the various holes. He's probably scared and confused, and yet again there's no
Oh, that one
bedrock
chipped
to
his
be
house
seen.
too.
But as he approaches the hole, we notice something odd. There's no leaves on this tree. This tree isn't caught in any chunk errors, but for
wait a minute, this is Minecraft Beta 1.3. Those kinds of trees didn't exist, did they? I don't think wait, did Minecraft really always have those kinds of trees? Especially one like that? That tree isn't naturally generated.
For some reason, half its leaves are totally gone, just like the tree we saw in
I swear I don't remember Minecraft always having these kinds of trees.
episode 1. And not to mention, this time there are strange holes dug into the ground below it, for some slowly disappearing from this world, and Mason is trapped inside. Mason then heads to the castle and begins to repair the ground and then the castle itself. The video cuts to Mason getting more materials from his chest before heading back to continue the repairs. He finishes repairing the castle, but as he turns around, he sees it. A new
It ain't his house no more!
hole opened up
Shit's gone!
behind him. In between Mason walking back and finishing the castle repairs, there were no cuts in the video. No time for someone to dig this chunk out. This happened as
I couldn't tell you
Mason
that.
was online, just like we saw in episode 1. Probably frightened, Mason goes to investigate, looking around frantically, peering down the hole, and then we get this. All of a sudden, all the leaves
What the fuck?
around Mason disappear, leaving the trees bare just as we saw
fuck no, dude, I just had chills!
before. This is terrifying. The world is disintegrating around Mason in real time. But why? What's behind
Oh wait, that wasn't
this
his house
disappearance,
chunk.
and
That was a different
why
one.
is it doing this? The description of this video doesn't tell us much, essentially exactly what we just saw unfold. However, we do learn that this castle is specifically Danny's and not Mason's. As for the rest of what's going on here, we're still very much in the dark, and video 3 is a bit strange. A new world begins with the generating title screen, but it seems
Oh my
cut up,
God,
since right
holy
after supposedly
throwback.
generating the world, Mason, or whoever we're watching, already has pretty advanced items, so this world was definitely played through quite a bit between what we just saw. And at least from the terrain we can see, it seems like a totally different world than what Mason was just showing us. Mason walks around for most of the video before planting a rose and looking out over a lake. This video
What a
also
weird
has a
gameplay.
song playing in the
This guy's just like, it looks like he's never explored this entire area ever, and he just kind of spawned in.
background.
Herobrine, dude, it's always Herobrine. Oh. I love this music.
C418's Danny. The video is simple but weird, and it seems very out of place.
What? What?
For one thing, why the cut between generating world and getting all of these items? It just doesn't make sense to me to cut out all the progress and only give us this. And for another, why the rose and the music? To me though, maybe this is simply meant to be Mason's single-player world, a way to escape from the horrors happening in the world he shares with Danny. This is his peaceful reverie away from it all. But the next video is the polar opposite.
Fighting back!
It seems that Mason is back on his and Danny's world, and he's not going down without a fight. All the leaves near Mason's house are now gone, and he's not in a good mood about it. Mason punches a sheep and a chicken before walking.
I forgot that. I know, actually, I didn't even remember that being a thing where if you punch the sheep. Wow, I do
to the
not
back
remember
of
that.
his house and showing us a giant crevasse. This is the biggest hole we've seen form yet, implying that the disintegration is only getting faster. In a rage, Mason slaughters all the chickens perched by his base, almost as if he's fighting back against the world itself, and he discovers another chunk with random holes that seem to go nowhere, as if the chunk is preparing to be deleted. Enraged, Mason returns home, grabs TNT, and begins exploding the chunk over and over and over again, as if he thinks that it's his world that's out to get him and he's going to fight back by hurting the world itself. But his efforts are in vain, and after detonating almost all his TNT, Mason turns around to find that another chunk of the castle has been deleted right behind him. The world is also fighting back, and it's
The world is also causing fucking Mason's bitrate to be fucking -5, cause I can't see!
fighting harder. Mason drops his last TNT into the newly formed hole and returns home, slaughtering all the mobs stationed outside once again, accidentally blowing up his house, and finally returning to bed.
He's in a rage, bro. He's in a rage.
This isn't a victory, but it seems like Mason has a change of heart, since in the next video, things are quite different. The video titled Repairs consists
This guy is going through all the like changes a man is going through. His entire life is in these goddamn videos, bro.
Of Mason doing just that. Repairs. The world around him has gotten even worse, but Mason doesn't seem to be mad anymore. Instead, he grabs a bunch of dirt and cobblestone and patches up both the castle and the holes he made
Where's
in the last
Danny
video,
in all of
almost
this?
as if he's apologizing to the world for what he did last time. The description seems to confirm this. Mason is making amends with whatever supernatural force is haunting his game. I guess he's hoping that by apologizing, maybe it will just stop taking away land. Mason continues to patch up the castle, but as he brings in some ladders, we notice something odd. A chest. Mason doesn't open this chest, and it wasn't here earlier when Mason was rebuilding, meaning that he placed it sometime during this cut and what we see earlier on. But why? This is a bit of a weird mystery, and I'm still not really sure what this chest is meant to symbolize, but we can do some deduction to maybe figure out what he put inside. This is the last glimpse we get of Mason's inventory before the cut, and we can see that it looks pretty normal, nothing that weird. After the cut though, once we know the chest has been placed, Mason's inventory looks like this. Pretty much everything that was originally there is still there.
There's no
besides the
rows.
cobble that we know Mason used to rebuild the castle. In fact, there's only two items that were lost across the cut. The chest, which obviously Mason placed
stick.
inside, and weirdly,
Or the ladders.
the rose. Mason picks this rose 20 seconds inside, and weirdly,
And the lever.
the
He
rose.
mentions that at the
Mason
bottom.
picks this rose 20 seconds into the video, and given that it's gone after the cut, we can assume that this is what he placed inside the chest. But if so, why? What's the significance
his way of,
in
like, making
placing this
amends?
rose inside of the chest? And honestly, we don't have any actual proof that that's really what he put in the chest. For all we know, he could have put nothing and just replanted or stored the rose somewhere else. Regardless, the rest of the video continues rather calmly.
He's like,
There are
he's-
more repairs,
he's
and
saying he's
Mason
sorry.
goes to bed.
And
By
he
now,
gave
we
it a
can
rose.
observe a pattern. Every video we've watched so far, with the exception of the odd New World one, has more and more chunks and leaves disappearing from Mason's world. He starts confused, tries to run away, tries to fight back, and finally tries to make amends. All to no avail. It just keeps getting worse for him. Throughout all of this, Mason sometimes rebuilds other chunks, but the one thing he keeps rebuilding is Danny's castle. And on the subject, we never once get to meet Danny himself, but the cause of the disintegration is still very unknown, and Mason isn't really talkative in any of these videos, so our only choice to solve
that's
this
fair.
mystery is to keep watching. The next video,
Ah!
titled
Sorry,
Border,
Border. Jump scare, my fault.
is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A border formed around the house and the castle. I don't know why, but it keeps getting worse, and I don't know what to do. Mason gives us a tour, and yeah, it's bad. A giant border of void chunks has now formed all around his house and nearby land. The terrain behind it seems to be okay, for now, but it's clear that this area Mason lives in is being isolated by the world around
What
it.
the
The entire
fuck?
video consists of Mason walking the perimeter, giving us a tour of the horrors taking over his world. At one point,
Skyblock!
something catches
They're
his
giving
eye,
him a free
cobblestone,
skyblock!
a not naturally occurring block, and he heads down into the border to explore further. He comes across this weird wall-like structure and studies it for a minute, then leaves. Cobblestone usually implies man-made, but what this structure is very much beyond me. Though given the nearby presence of lava and obsidian, it could
Yeah.
be just as easily that this structure was naturally generated when the terrain spliced or was dug out. We have no idea. As the tour continues, we find out that almost all the trees inside the perimeter have been stripped of their leaves, resulting in a very haunting and eerie skyline.
Wow,
this
that
area
is-
of the world specifically where Mason's house is being destroyed, which begs an
Right,
interesting
man, by me,
question.
can you
Why
also
doesn't
unpixelate
Mason
it?
just run? Why doesn't he just abandon this house or abandon this world? I mean, typically if this was your normal player, I don't know why on earth anyone would stay in this world when clearly something is very wrong with it. It just doesn't make sense to me why Mason is staying
castle got
amidst
fucked
all
even
of this
more.
happening to him. When Mason does eventually return to his house, we can see that a chunk of land that was there before is now missing. More corruption, just as we're
See, if
used
it's
to.
trying to
Mason goes
isolate
to
him,
sleep again, and
why
this
is it also
video
destroying
ends.
things within?
Things are only getting worse. More and more blocks keep disappearing, and it's clear that Mason is powerless to stop it, but the next video takes a very strange turn. But before we get to it, if you are enjoying the video, then please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 2 million subscribers by the end of the year, but a lot of people end up watching these videos through and never subscribe. So if you do enjoy these videos
wait, I should be subscribed to him, right? I got you, bro. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. Why did I jump so far ahead?
you so much, and let's get back to Mason. The next video, Calm, is
like, I jumped ahead and we was in hell. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly that. Mason is just playing Minecraft.
I have a hunch, dude. Oh my god, I completely forgot about Danny. This is Danny, bro. Danny's doing this. Danny is destroying the world. Hear me out. This is a complete bullshit call that I'm making because, like, I have nothing else. But whenever he made a new world, the reason Danny played was because it was haunting him in order to get... Danny is trolling for... Danny just trolling his ass, bro. Danny is just... He's just trolling with his ass, bro. And it ain't even nothing serious. He's just fucking with him. But Danny's dead. That's a good... Danny's probably dead. That's a good hunch. That's why Danny played whenever he was in a new world, because this is the only world with Danny died while playing Minecraft. Like Too Mad. Because Too Mad's soul is trapped in Overwatch. Danny's soul is trapped in this world. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Or maybe... No, that sounds boring.
Disappear.
My reason was more fun.
Happens. It's just 5 minutes of peace. Except, well, there is one thing. Actually, two things. For one thing, 55 seconds into this video, music starts to play. Every other video we see on this channel up to this point has had no music. That is, every video but one. A new world.
One with Danny in
it.
This
is the same song that plays in that video as
the
well.
Danny
Why that song is present in both A New World and here is unknown, but this video hides a far darker second secret.
There reminds me of
Searching in the captions of this video, 2 minutes in, we get a random string. This string is a YouTube URL, and adding the correct prefix takes us to an unlisted video on Mason's channel, Escaping to Hell. It's pretty clear that this video takes place after everything we've already seen so far, as Mason's
damn, they really did end up in hell!
The chunks are far worse.
What the hell is going on in my Minecraft world?
Portal in front of his house, but when he enters, we get this. This is extremely surreal. It seems...
Yo, Danny for real decided to use wool in the nether, bro. Danny, stop trolling the Minecraft world, bro. It's not funny no more. You're already dead. Let it go.
From the fog and textures that all of a sudden we've entered a different version of Minecraft. The text in the top left is gone, and all of a sudden Mason is in creative without any of his items.
Oh shit, I didn't even notice that.
Let's not ignore the elephant in the room, that this is not the nether. Instead, there is only a road, a seemingly infinite extending street that Mason spawns in on. Mason walks through this eerie dimension until he stumbles across what looks like very poorly built.
Danny, you got in a fucking car crash at an intersection and died? And you can't even make the road correctly? Oh my god.
Built traffic lights. Looking over the crossroad, he continues straight until he sees it. A block on the road. Then another, and then stairs, and finally glass panes. Mason freezes, staring.
Is that the car? Did the car blow up? I think that's what happened.
For a few seconds before quickly turning back and running through the portal back to the overworld. On the other side, he has his items again, we're back to normal, and he tears down the portal. And in the corner of his vision, we can see that part of the castle has been destroyed.
Well, what the fuck? What are you throwing that shit away for?
What did we just watch? This is no longer normal. Not that it ever was, but even this is out of place for this YouTube channel. Given how he was looking around, it seems like Mason didn't build this, but still, what on earth? I don't really even know what to tell you. All we can really do is go into the next video where things have somehow gotten even worse. Mason is moving house,
I'm
and
thinking,
at first
bro.
it isn't really clear why, but as he looks up, we can
it's a
see
car
exactly
crash
the
or
reason.
something like that.
Half his house was just vaporized by one of the chunk errors, but
Danny
it
is
isn't just
mad
his
he
house.
does not
As
get to play
Mason looks
Minecraft.
around, we can see that any land past the border is now gone. The chunks in the distance
God
are
damn,
completely
Danny!
removed, and it appears that all that is left of Mason and Danny's world are the chunks we can see around us. The corruption has spread deep now, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Slowly but steadily, Mason moves all of his stuff into Danny's castle, chest by chest, item by item.
But why would you move it in Danny's castle of all places? Danny's the like, it's been getting destroyed. Like, it would make sense that Danny's place would be safe if this is Danny, but his place is getting destroyed.
Interestingly, he still doesn't address the chest he placed in the castle basement, but as he's relocating the last of his torches, we can see it. His house has fully vanished, gone into the void, and nothing but the final back wall giving any sign that it ever existed in the first place. Mason looks at it for a few more seconds before curiosity, or maybe longing, gets the best of him, and he goes to say goodbye one last time. He visits the pit that was once his old home and takes it all in, staring longingly into the void before turning to watch the sunset. He stays like this for a while before finally heading home to the castle and sleeping once again. At this point, it's pretty clear that Mason feels powerless against whatever is taking control over his world. The haunting does not seem to be slowing down, and day by day, more and more blocks are being removed from the world. It's only a matter of time until nothing is left of this world, but we're too far in to stop watching now. We have to see this story through and find out what's really going on here. It's time for the next.
Has he always had diamond tools? I know he had diamond tools in that one world.
Next video, Hope. The video begins with a stark contrast to last time. Danny's castle is now seemingly the only chunk left of this.
He's literally just playing Skyblock! The rest under it isn't even alive anymore. It's just the fucking platform. It is just Danny's house that's staying alive. This is Danny. It's Danny's doing.
With Mason taking shelter within its walls. We can only guess that there isn't much time left before the world deletes this chunk too once and for all. From the various cobblestone bridges spanning out into the void, we can guess that Mason was bridging outwards in hopes of finding something, anything that still exists out there, but apparently it was to no avail. His render distance has decreased, and we watch as he gathers blocks for one final expedition out towards the left, but this time, he finds something. Somehow, in the distance, Mason catches sight of a chunk that still exists. A chunk that, for some unknown reason, hasn't been deleted. Why? Why has this chunk survived the disintegration when nothing else did? Regardless, Mason can't believe his eyes, running back to get more blocks to finish his bridge before finally climbing over the edge to admire
fuck going to the top, there's ores at the bottom.
It seems like he still can't believe his eyes. Something still exists. There's still hope in saving this world if he can figure out what's special about this chunk. He tries bridging out more but changes his mind, going to mine the tree before again changing his mind and replanting the wood. It seems that he doesn't want to cause any damage to this chunk, to savor it as the final remains of his world. He climbs up to the highest point before being transfixed by the dandelion. He then rushes back to his base and brings over—
Wait. The dandelion might be the reason why it's still there. That castle might have the rose, which might be what's keeping it in the chunk now. Because I don't think it started getting, it didn't get destroyed after he put the rose in there. It might be flowers.
Over food and a chest. Mason quickly kills the animals that have spawned in the new chunk and then makes some sort of odd sacrifice
but why
or
would
prayer to the chunk. I'm not really
this
sure
be the only chunk?
But he fills a chest with items before giving yet another offering. This video takes a weird turn, and it seems like Mason is trying to use this chunk as a way to save his world. If he can figure out what makes this chunk special, then maybe he thinks he can.
Maybe it's the flower, maybe not. I don't know.
As for what does make this chunk special, I am not not really sure. I don't know why this is the one chunk that survived in the void, but I did find something rather interesting. If we trace back to the very first video, remember the weird tree with a missing block that Mason filled in? Well, we can actually line up this shot of the tree with the tree on the surviving chunk, and this shot of the flower confirms it. This is the same tree, the same chunk that Mason interfered with in the first episode.
But there's
Whether
more flowers
that
right there.
actually means something or is just a pure coincidence is up for debate, but it seems a bit too good to be true. Either way though, it doesn't really tell us why this was the chunk that survived the deletion. It's hard to believe Mason did nothing in any other chunk. The next video though gives us some more information.
It's hard because flowers spawn
The video is
very often, so it's hard to say that that's the thing that's like making it like stay there.
titled Amekania, which, after looking it up, is the name of the Greek goddess of helplessness. If that doesn't clue you into
God damn, Mason, how old are you to be knowing that?
You'll see. The video starts with Mason on the bridge back to the castle, returning from the surviving chunk. Given the amount of food he pulls out of his chest back home, it seems like he is going to make another offering. Before he does though, Mason begins tearing down his other bridges before finally heading back to the surviving chunk.
Did he figure it out?
When he returns to it, it's gone. The chunk has vanished. The blocks Mason placed are still there, but the chunk itself is totally gone. Deleted.
Wait.
Clearly, Mason's bargaining wasn't enough. The offerings weren't received. This world clearly isn't done taking things from Mason. Mason,
What the
now
fuck?
utterly defeated, looks around helpless, hopeless, as his dreams of saving this world were crushed right before his eyes. He dumps his offering into the void before tearing down this final bridge. There's nowhere else for him to go.
Bruh.
Mason heads back to the base and in one quick motion breaks his chest of cobblestone and takes it all with him. He waits outside, watching as day turns to night before turning to the void and throwing his cobblestone in. Block by block, stack by stack, Mason throws his building blocks into the void until there's only one stack left. And he gets rid of that one too. The meaning is obvious. Mason has lost hope. He's given up on bridging anywhere else and escaping this castle in the sky. There's just nowhere for him to go anymore. That surviving chunk was his last thread of hope, and now it's gone. Mason is fully helpless. But as he drops the final stack, he looks up. A tree has just grown. He stares at it for a little before heading to bed and ending the video.
Oh, that was the tree we put there earlier.
This video is a journey of Mason, hopeful about his potential savior, to losing it in the blink of an eye, giving up all hope before once again, for a moment, seeming like he isn't going to give up. It's genuinely just sad to watch, but it still doesn't answer what's causing all of this in Mason's world. Why is it that the castle hasn't been deleted yet when everything else has? Why did that other chunk take so long to delete? And still, what in the world was the meaning of that nether episode?
Weird.
It just doesn't add up. But there's only one
I'm
video
saying the same
left
thing,
in
wifeys or weefies, whatever your name is. I'm saying the same thing, bro. Me and you, low-key, we on the same wavelength. I feel like that one guy who commented on one of my YouTube videos saying I would have done the same thing, but like, no, you would not have.
theory. So if there's ever been a time for answers, it's now. Acceptance begins with Mason heading out of the castle, and we see something interesting. More saplings have been planted. It seems like that tree growing in the last video must have sparked something inside of Mason, because now he looks like he hasn't given up on escaping this void yet. He turns and notices a gap in his fence before going up
And he
to fix it,
coincidentally
after
has
which
one?
he heads back down to look into the void.
I mean,
But suddenly, something switches. Mason runs back inside and grabs his shovel before immediately returning, and after a few moments of hesitation, he begins to destroy. Mason breaks all his saplings before returning to the only one remaining corner of this island and digging it out. Without stopping, he digs the tunnel all the way to the bottom of the void and then back up, but he doesn't stop there. Mason uproots his entire island.
Mason is
finding all of
going
the dirt before
crazy!
starting to destroy the castle too. No blocks are spared, and Mason continues to dig more and more, breaking the entire tower before moving on to the next one. Soon, the entire top half of the second tower is also gone, and Mason pauses, only to then throw his armor into the void as well. He continues to tear down the walls,
The chest!
block after block after block, until all that's left of the entire world is the chest. Mason goes into F5 and looks around, surveying the void around him and watching the clouds, seemingly at peace for the first time in ages, before looking down, breaking the chest, and falling into the void. And that's the end of the series. There are no videos left and seemingly no answer of what comes next, what this all means, and why this happened to Mason. All we're left with is a strange, cryptic, and incoherent set of videos. But I do think there is a story here. What we're watching isn't meant to be a surface level playthrough of a strange situation. It's a showcase of a human being going through the 5 stages.
Oh, the 5.
Ever
Whatever.
since he was mentioned
I was about to say the 7 deadly sins, but yeah, the grief shit. Because the end was acceptance. Danny's dead, and he was going through all stages.
Description of the first episode, Danny hasn't made a single appearance in any of his videos. This was his castle, his world with Mason, but we never see or hear of Danny. But isn't it strange that the only chunk that Mason keeps repairing in this whole series is Danny's castle, not even his own home? Isn't it strange that Mason never leaves this world like any normal player would? I mean, if this happened to you, why
He just
would you
can't
ever
let go.
keep playing?
Oh my
Unless
God.
This world
He just
meant
can't let
something
go of
more to
Danny.
you. Unless this world was the only memory of someone you had lost. And
This
if that was true,
it signifies
wouldn't your
him
first
letting
priority
go.
be to keep whatever
Wait,
they
this is
made
sad.
intact, to fight back and preserve their memory. The Channel Knights tells a story of Mason going through denial, continuing to play in his world as if nothing was wrong, writing it off as a glitch or a bug. Anger, lashing out against the mobs, blowing up his world and dropping lava
He
into
literally
the void
was
to fight
going
back
through it
against
all.
the disappearances, bargaining by trying to make amends and pleading with the only thing that he had left to somehow bring his world back, to preserve his memories and keep them alive. Depression, giving up on ever making it out and throwing away all that he had left before finally acceptance, not letting the world take Danny's castle from him, but instead tearing it down himself, understanding that he can't hold on to the past. Holding on to this world won't bring Danny back. Nothing will. The only thing he can do to heal his wounds is to accept that Danny is gone. And I'll do you one better. The enlisted video, Escaping to Hell, that's Mason telling us that his hell isn't the Nether, it's remembering what happened to Danny, which I can only suspect must have been some sort of accident. Whether Danny was a friend, a brother, or something more, he's gone, and Mason has to accept it. But that's not where this story ends, because what if I told you that these videos weren't in order and you've already seen how this story ends for Mason? Because what comes after acceptance? Well, it's only then that you can truly heal and begin a new world. I mean, don't believe me, just pay attention to the inventories. In fact, the only item that's different in Danny's inventory
I knew it! Oh, I
and
didn't know it, but I said something about this!
after the fall is the one item that we suspected he put in the chest all those episodes ago. The rose. The one fragment left of a Minecraft rose.
Oh my God! That was him putting it to rest. Oh my God. Dude, that was fucking beautiful. Dude, that was so fucking beautiful. Holy shit. That was beautiful. Damn. The 5 stages of grief. Oh my god, him not being able to let go. Oh my god. That was wow. I didn't expect, dude. What's crazy because with a lot of these, you expect it to be like scary horror, monsters, something beyond your comprehension. And then sometimes, bro, they just give you a story of someone who just can't let go, bro. Like, really?